Gold medal game, AUC 2016, Ballarat, Country Victoria. Both these teams from Sydney, both these colonies, Pillage and Plunder, had to fly to Melbourne, drive 2 hours to do what they do, probably once a week back in Sydney, just for all of us to watch this time. Colony Pillage went through Heads of State. Colony Plunder went through Chile, knocking out 2 Melbourne clubs in the semifinals. And now the interclub battle, the one that counts. I hear that Plunder has had the wood for the majority of the scrimmage matches. I hear that the team that has the wood for the majority of the scrimmage matches often loses the final. We won't know until it's all over. Plunder in blue, Pillage in black. Pillage, Cupcake, Tom Tullett picks it up to Thomas. Henry Thomas gets his cut up line and is in front of Tullett, but there is a call.
Pick called.
Pick called. Returned to Thomas. Henry Aberamundi. Back to Tullett. A dingo. Henry again. Now to Gav Moore. Another dingo. If we keep this up, we'll be doing a lot of talk about rep players. Rory Connell. Now to Ant Dowell. Ant Dowell to Connell. To Moore. Pillage, tidy thus far in their first possession. Gus Keenan. Tullett working for him. Blakely on him. Moore to Tullett, and he drops it in the breadbasket. And Lidikit is off and running. Denyer gives it to Lidikit. He's got it. Tullett slow to catch up. Lidikit looking to secure the break. The upwind. And it's floaty to Jimmy Todd Hill. He's got it. Only meters out now. Denyer. Paul Denyer goes the Blady Hammer. The Blammer does not work. Push to the ground. Pillage. Get another shot. Tullett brings in the disc to Connell. Connell to Thomas. Thomas sticks it. Dowell on the run. Taylor chasing. Dowell, what a pickup. Layup falling away over Stacy on a double touch. He felt the pressure. He saw Dowell make a big play. He knew he had to make one to save it. Great plays from Dowell and Stacy for the score. Pillage up early, 1-0. Here's the throw to set it up. Connell airs it out. Dowell, Taylor closes ground. Dowell just stays in front. Falls away, great pickup on the big throw. Then he puts it high. Stacy gets up for a small touch and a second effort, kicking his feet out to fall flat. Doing a bit of the worm there. Time between points indicated by the whistle there. Rob Andrews pulls up wind, loses his hat in the process. Low driving pull, just past half. Matt Dowell picks up. Dowell's on opposite clubs this season within the Colony ranks. a look at the Plunder offense for the first time this game. The majority, or a large portion of this Colony team made up by Dingo's O players, as Blakely has the disc, far sideline, centers to Linforth. Linforth to Jimmy Todd Hill, a Barramundi this year. Kai Young, Peter Blakely. Blakely underneath, great break throw to Mike Neal. 1-1. Plunder answers. Here's the throw by Blakely. Spots Mike, gets low, gets under, and hits him for an easy catch. We'll see if the majority of the scoring does happen on the left side of our screen. The wind definitely picked up now, moving right to left. Breaks upwind will be precious. Plunder, the O-line, set to play D. Here we are, Denyer. Set to pull. Denyer, set sail. Henry, Thomas picks up to Tullett. Tullett has more going deep early. Resists. Connell. Oh, Mike Neal jump in front for the D. Great layout D for the guy who usually plays O. Gets it to Denyer. Denyer to Braden. Cheng now to Ortega. And Nealed again on the near sideline to Petrov, to Ortega. Plunder go upwind, didn't take that long. A Mike Nealed layout D, converted upwind, 2-1. The training boss doing it best. There's Mike Nealed leaving his feet for the D. And here's Mike Neal starting off the sequence, gets it to Petrov. Then Ortega for the go-ahead breaking goal.
No offsides, please.
Here's the pull, Paul Denyer. Outside in, big arcing pull. Stacy will let it land and stop the roll. Latamatos gets it with Litikit breathing down his neck. Henry rips it, Moore versus Denyer. Jostle for position, Connell over top to touch it first, no calls, no catch. Denyer over the disc, wants Tintin. Litikit. Denyer, Jimmy Todd Hill. Jimmy Todd Hill puts a bit of wood on it, but gets knocked down by Dow. Latamatos. Looking for options. Henry comes back, is an option. Thomas now, little step fake, Petrov bearing down. Pick called.
Coming on 0.
In on 0, Tullett with the disc. Nathan Stacy with the disc. Oh, and Chang gets in front of Moore. Moore calls the foul.
Uncontested foul.
Uncontested foul as you hear the voice of Rubenberg echo it. Our on-field correspondent, rules guru, and in-game game advisor. Moore goes over top. The hammer gets the opposite edge and floats away from Dowell. And Plunder to pick up. Plunder, wind at their back, break in their pocket, disc deep to Chang. Can't get down for it. Rolls to the back of the field, runs into the Robert Young signs, and waits for Colony Plunder to slowly walk and get this started. All 14 players on the field and all sideline players all wearing very similar gray shorts today. Different shirts, of course, but similar patterning, fonts and all. Tullett to the line. Connell. Thomas. Forward to Latamatos. Acrobatic catch by Lotto. Engages Tullett. Tullett cuts up wind. Jimmy Todd Hill there, and Cupcake gives him a good bump.
Pick called.
Jimmy Todd Hill explains his case. Tullett nods it off.
Let's get it going.
Bit of discussion.
Let's get it going.
Game advisors hoping to get it going. Tullett still disc in hand. Todd Hill returns to where he was just after the bump. Pick called again. These two familiar with each other's playbooks, personnel, club ethos, the works. Know the matchups well. Tullett goes around, even though the sideline barks for no arounds. Now to Dowell, Latamatos, third pick in the last minute. Mark Evans barking for no unders. An unfortunate injury for Plunder side. He rolled his ankle in yesterday's semi-early game against Chile. Another one of the Dingoes and a valuable player. Moore on the sideline, jacks it. Tullett is maybe able to get there, but it is beyond the field proper, out the back of the end zone. Denyer walks to pick up. Plunder again. Here's the replay. Gav Moore rips it, gets over the defender, but in doing that, sails out the back. Denyer. Back to the line. Crimmins. Todd Hill. Can't handle. Latamatos. On the doorstep. Great step out flick from Lotto. A bit outside in on it. Gets it to Gav Moore. They answer. Keep it even. 2-all. There's that great throw by Lotto again. Gav just shuffles out into the rest of space. Collects the easy keeper. Get some action up on the hill. People watching from all angles here. The games on all fields just finishing up. We've got 3 venues. Marty Bush, St. Patrick's College, and here at Moorside Park. All games will be finished by now, so you see the cars coming in. The grandstand's starting to fill up. as our showcase games, the open final and then the women's final, to be featured on this beautiful field here in Ballarat, Moorshead Park. Once again, blessed with blue skies, no clouds. Production team having a happy day about it. Rob Andrews to pull.
Get down there, boy.
Rips one. Excellent pull. Kai motions to Linforth. Linforth watches it roll near the line. Did it roll out? It did roll out. Dowell will pick it up. Here you see the roll. And but yes, it does go about a half a foot out of bounds. Matt Dowell on the line. Sutas on the mark. Plunder sets in motion. Jacked. Mike kneeled there. Jimmy Todd Hill there. Mike keeps going. Now he's got Mike coming under. Kneeled in the corner to Blakely. Great shot by Kneeled with the fist clutch. (3-2) Plunder dictating the pace. Here's the fake by Todd Hill. Comes back as he hears Kneeled barking. And Blakely start, rather, keeps going and has space for the goal. 3-2 Plunder. Plunder set to pull. Denier with the disc. Outside in. Backhand. Ogden watches it land. Tries to stop it. Did he touch? He must have been because he's on his bike here. Picks it, runs it back to where it went out and is in trouble. Callahan country here. Tullett says enough of that talk. Rips it. No receiver, but no threat of the Callahan. However, it did go out early. Denier will bring it up to where our game advisor stands, Steve Baker. And with Jimmy Todd Hill isolated, Ortega to flank. Let's see what Denier does with this first throw. Goes around as Todd Hill fills. Now to Liddickett. Liddickett fakes the up line and again, and centers to Denier. Ortega, Petrov, 5 meters out. Oh, and too far for the dump. Denier can't get there. Pillage have another chance without having to start from their end zone. Wanted Keenan, couldn't get it. Takes Thomas underneath. Takes Connell coming underneath with a couple of gainers. There's a slip. Now it's up. Taylor's in front of Dowell. Dowell steps in front. Can't find the disc. Denier going the other way. Petrov off early. Underneath to Todd Hill. Petrov again. Coffee underneath. Ortega has Denier, doesn't take him. Resets to Todd Hill. Everything up that far sideline thus far. Denier now puts an arcing forehand as Ortega has Petrov. Either one will do. 4-3 Plunder. Ronaldo Ortega. Instructions from Mike Nealt for the pronunciation. Here he is. Denier decides on the blade as his best option. Petrov there. Ortega in front. He takes it, the Canadian import. Rolando Ortega for the 4-2 lead.
Plunder! Starts with the run, boys. Starts with the run.
Mike Nealt set to pull. Taking on some defensive duties. In my opinion, the best part of playing defense, throwing that pull. And a bit of a zone. Clammy as well. No, now on demand. Banned out from the pull. Stacy to Tullett. Tullett winds up. Big arcing backhand to Andrews under our cameras. Nealt settles onto the mark. Andrews puts a big forehand heading towards the sideline. Legs getting caught up. Lotto goes down. Running into Tex, no call. Just gonna check in with our game advisor, Ruben Berg.
Morning, Steph. How are you?
Doing great, Ruben. How do you see the game so far?
There's been very few calls and all resolved pretty quickly. That's what we like to see.
Just the way we like to see it. Thanks, Ruben. We'll hope to check in with you again when necessary. Ooh, and that one does not come out as hoped, as we see our game advisor going for a little jog, chasing discs this way and that. He'll move it to within 3 meters and allow Pillage to pick it up. He knows the rules. Tullett to pick up. Petrov on the mark. Tullett pops it. Moore has it. Looks like OB. OB called out of bounds. The sure hands of Gav Moore prevailed, but no go. And here we go the other way. Blakely. To Nealt. Nealt working hard to get open around Connell. Ooh. To Matt Dowell, no call on the play, dangerously close to the turf. Cheng gets a bump by Lotto. Now to Nealt. Pick called. Lotto Matos runs into Stacy and calls the pick. Here we are. Blakely, Andrews is there. Cheng to pick up the pieces. Really early pick called. Blakely, disc in hand. Disc is in. Blakely. Cheng comes under. Second option. Pop to Neal. Connell has a bit at it. Neal gets moving straight away. Dowell. Petrov. Cheng. Petrov. Great catch there. Crimmins. Blakely can't hang on to that one. That's Xavier Black, correction, on the mark. Latamatos. Andrews, Lato. Latamatos. To Connell. Jacks it straight away, has Gav Moore. Can't hang on. Cheng on the chase. Plunder up early, 4-2. Pillage want this. Need a D, do not want the lead extended to 3. Matt Dow picks up the disc. Here's Matt Dow. Too far. Tom Tullett picks it up, gives it to Latamatos. He celebrates, easy or not, a goal's a goal. 3-4. Pillage within 1, still back at break. There's the throw, going too far. Tullett quick to pick and pop for the goal. Pillage set to pull. Andrews. Rips it. Great upwind pull. If it stays in, it does. Linforth collects. Latamatos runs right into Matt Dow. Kamikaze from the pull. Dow to Jimmy Todd Hill. To Dow. Now Blakely. Kai cuts deep. Swing taken. Jimmy Todd Hill to Niels, opposite hand. Niels forward to Dow again. Far sideline, hammer. Has Blakely. 7 meters out, that same break flick he threw to Neal, this time to Dow. Dictating pace, 5-3, Plunder. There's the hammer. To Blakely. Dow to Blakely on the hammer. Blakely to Dow on the score. 5-3, Plunder. Denyer to pull. Colony. Plunder up on Pillage, 5-3. Both these teams, as we mentioned, shut out of a final for the first time in a long time since their inception last year, as Mammoth knocked out one of the colonies to meet heads of state in the final. Tullett with a huge hammer hits Gav right in the chest, didn't have to move, winds up, loads it, drops the hammer. Let's see it again. Here's Tullett with the disc, calibrating, releasing all his fury in that 175 grams of plastic that hits Moore right in the chest. Pillage respond, 4-5. Not much Cheng could do about that one, but watch it sail over his head. So, defense playing D, offense playing O. The best defense of in the country versus the best O in the country. And the O's get the advantage of the wind at their back. Great pull again by Andrews. You see this wind blowing from right to left, picking up, Kneeled with the disc, quick to Callan Spielman, quick to Todd Hill, quick to put another goal on the board. 6-4, and we see the world's worst cartwheel out of Jimmy Todd Hill. He's got some work to do on that one. Here it is again. Boom, up the line. Boom, up some more. Spielman gives it to Hill. And let's see if we have time for this horrendous attempt of a cartwheel once again. Todd Hill setting it up. Look at that. No vertical stature. Legs falling all over the place. Barely stands up. Poor cartwheel Todd Hill. Needs work, but not a bad goal. Denyer to pull. Big shot from Denyer. Stacy lets it roll out. Just getting some action. A reminder that 17 is indeed Xavier Black, not Petrov. We've got that one sorted. Gus Keenan to Tullett. Tullett winds up last time he had it. He almost put a hole through Gav Moore via hammer. Taylor steps forward as Cupcake tries to break the zone in one throw. Now Denyer with a chance. Black. Cheng. Cheng pops to Petrov. Petrov puts in front. Cheng can't get there. And Pillage get another chance. Stacy quick to Keenan. Keenan has Vo going. Takes him. Inside out. Denyer's there. Denyer's all day. Vo couldn't get around. Ortega with a disc. Dowell on the mark. Ortega looks. Finds Lidikit. Lidikit fakes. Pick called. Lidikit. Denier. Denier gets to Black. Now Taylor. Taylor to Denier. Denier with the hammer now. Tullett there. Petrov there. Both misread. Petrov read Tullett. Tullett misread everything. Turnover's the result. Tullett just closing in and diving. Thomas. Too low, but it got Tamara down with a great catch. The wind lifted that up. I thought it was straight into the defense out of the hand. Vo with the disc. Now to Thomas. Over top, floaty, Connell, goal. 5-4, Pillage keep it within one. We got a game on our hands. 6-5. What a catch by Dal. Thomas. There's Vo rather. Now to Thomas. And here comes the pop pass. Lots of space, lots of time. Nothing but Rory Connell.
Get it moving.
Rubenberg speeding up the line calling. Here's Rob Andrews. Big pull, big wind. These boys can definitely pull. That's an indication of what kind of wind they are working against. Dal to Young. Linforth. Young. Now Mike Neild with the disc. To Blakely. Jimmy Todd Hill. Callan Spielman slowly gaining ground. Now Spielman goes for the score. Just out of Matt Dow's reach. I think within his reach. Couldn't close the hand on it. Here it is again. Spielman winds up, outside in flick, a little bit blady, up high. Would have been a beautiful grab, but he can't hang on. Latamatos with the disc. Latamatos. To Sutas. Sutas to Moore. Moore winds up. Does not deliver. Has Oscar. Wow, Jimmy Todd Hill firing through the crowd there. Disrupting things. And pop pass from Dow to Neild. 7-5, Plunder out in front, extend to a 2-point lead. Here is that D. Francis puts it forward. Jimmy Todd Hill explodes, and a push pass for the goal.
Timeout called. Plunder.
Timeout. Plunder. comparatively. Getting there. Here we go. Plunder looking to take half. Mike Neal set to pull. Pillage, whatever it takes to prevent that. And scoring a goal, the optimal solution. There's the shot by Mike Neal. Good pull in this wind. Ogden picks it up to Tullett. Tullett to Thomas. Thomas rips it. Jimmy Todd Hill in front of Gav Moore. That shot was well defended, ill-advised. Dowell picks up the disc. If Plunder can seal the half here, Pillage will have all sorts of thinking to do at their halftime. Pick called. Daniel with the disc, jacks it. Liddickit there, easy catch, 2 hands in the chest, kneeled. 10 meters out, little bump on the mark. Now 2 meters out to Dowell, hand block. Dowell blocks his brother. Ant Dowell blocking Matt Dowell on the hammer, on the goal line. You can't get action like this anywhere else. Tullett winds up, fakes, Keenan. Underneath, Ogden. Those Dowell boys will have a lot to talk about at their Anzac dinner. More now. Shoots. We got a Dowell on Dowell again. Whoa. Great acceleration out of Ant, but he still can't get there. An excellent sibling rivalry out there with this matchup. The Dowell twins, longtime stalwarts of the ultimate Australian ultimate scene. Denyer puts it again, has Jimmy Todd Hill, oh, has a hand on it, can't close it. Here is the Dowell brothers baiting him, up the hand goes, no you don't, brother. We'll take the turnover. Tullett on his goal line, disc in hand, black on mark. Keenan up line, Gainer. Keenan shoots, Moore kneeled in the area. Kneeled gets there first. That's a marquee matchup as well. We've got a discussion. There is a call, game advisor on the field. Here's the replay. 2 dingoes, the 2 captains, O captain, D captain. The O captain gets a D on the D captain there.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you don't think it affected, then the play stands.
As we heard from Rubenberg, no belief to have affected. Play stands. Mikey Neal gets the D on the hark. And Plunder will take over from their own end zone line. Dowell's disc. Matt, that is. Ant on the mark. Xavier Black. Jimmy Todd Hill. Todd Hill fakes the big. Returns Dowell. Dowell up to Denyer. Denyer centers to Neald. Neald looks for the big. Now forwards to Lineker. Lineker puts it now. Black's there. Tullett. Big bid by Tom Cupcake Tullett. Not sure if he got a huge piece, but definitely prevented the catch. Throwing himself around out there with reckless abandon. Tullett now walks it back in. Hopes to have himself gathered from the body launch. Yavmore comes under right away. Then Keenan, then he gives it to Keenan after. The cut had finished, and Ogden now. Playing out of their own end zone, our Pillage. Lots of short passes late in the cutting sequence. Thus far on the possession, now to Ogden, far sideline, wind at their back. Tullett in his own end zone. Dowell makes a move. He puts it to Dowell. Dowell and Denyer. It's gonna make it to the end zone. Great battle. Oh, Dowell goes down, and that's the end of the battle and the start of a conversation. Denyer pleading his case.
Foul call.
Foul called. Waiting for Denyer's response.
Yeah, it was a team. I thought it was a bit of incidental, but.
Well, the question you have to ask is whether you thought it affected the play.
It fell. I guess I don't think that he would have grabbed it necessarily, but.
So if you disagree about whether it affected the play, it'll be going back to the throw.
Oh, no, was it too much contact? You told me. Okay.
Uncontested foul?
Uncontested foul, as we hear from Ruben Berg.
No,
It will be,
your disc?
then it will be
Up
Dowell's
here.
disc on the goal line. A wise time potentially for a timeout with no dump and the stall count starting. Let's see what happens. Timeout called as I suspected. So settled on the field, we had a foul and contest. We're gonna take a look at the replay very shortly and see if we can get Ruben's opinion on a second look.
So Ant has position there. There's definitely contact. The only real question they needed to ask was whether it affected the play. So what the discussion was that Denyer believed that it didn't affect the play, but Ant did. But then after discussion, Paul conceded that it probably did affect the play. I think it was really close. It's hard to tell whether Ant would necessarily have gotten that, but we have seen some of the amazing things Ant's done already today, so it's quite possible he would have, but it's really great the players were able to solve that themselves.
I'm glad they sorted it out. By my opinion, maybe not the way I would have called it. I think there was definitely an effect on that play, but it's not up to me to referee this game, only to call it, and the 14 referees out there will get it all sorted out one way or another. 7-5. Plunder up. Colony final. Back again after a break of Colony-less final last year. Colony would probably be big fans of my commentary. I believe I have been the voice of each of their championships since inception. So you're welcome, guys. I'm back. So maybe a small engravement on the trophy for me. Not a likely proposition, but you don't ask, you don't get, right? Here we are, end zone offense. Ant Dowell, vert stack, two flanked. Tries to fake over top first, engages one, engages Tullett. Tullett, this way then that. Cuppers, he says, from Dowell, falling away gets the goal, the one he may have had earlier. He gets there, 7-6. Here's Tullett, very patient. Great little throw. Flick of the wrist backhand, and Dowell brings it to within one. The heads of state section of the crowd keen to get Cron on the field. A Cron chant emerging from the grandstand. We'll see if that persists. I would imagine if I know heads of state, there will be no letting up on the Cron chant at the start of each point. So, 7-6. Getting close to half. Nothing suggested. Rob Andrews
No
with the disc in
offsides,
his
please.
hands. The wind in his face. And his training adversaries on the other side of the field. Pull to start. Nathan Lindforth to Spielman. Spielman to Matt Dowell. And Jimmy Todd Hill now. Mike Nield. Blakely. Tex, as he's known, to Kai Young. Spielman. Matt Dowell. A lot of mottos up in his grill.
Falco.
Discussion.
22
Foul.
stood on Robbie's foot.
Foot stood on, as we heard from Ruben. Up top, Dowell to Blakely. We've seen that break flick out of him a few times for a score from similar position. This time it's over the top. Backhand pop. Dowell to Nield for the half. Plunder take half, 8-6, dictate the pace. Looking good in this club versus club rivalry. Well, they're underway. Production team just getting sorted for the second half. Tullett all over Blakely. Taking him out for drinks later. Tap back in. Andrews closes in now. Zone. Hops over top. Swipe by Tullett, but can't get it. Neal does. Linforth to Young. Young to Dow. Matt Dowell to Young. And you're hearing a lot of the same names now. Mike Neal gets down low for the goal. These Colony lines are getting shorter and shorter as the game goes on. A lot of their top players eating up a lot of minutes. Tullett not yet to take a sub. I don't suspect he will. And there would be a handful on each team, 4 or 5, that are playing in 90% of these points or more. Daniel set to pull. And heads of state begging for Cron. Again, a chant, as I mentioned, we suspect will persist until Cron gets some burn. Daniel set to pull. Plunder 9, Pillage 6. Plunder looking strong. Daniel out there once again. Pillage receive. Tullett picks up. Gets it to Stacy. Stacy to Connell. Connell to Ant Dowell. Now to Tullett. Tullett out in front. Gav Moore. Gav Moore. Big OI flick has Dowell. Oh, can't hang on. Bit of sun, bit of a touch perhaps. Turnover is the result. Here's the shot again. Gav Moore puts out the blade. Taylor gets up. Dowell protects his face in the end there. Must have lost it completely. Paul Denyer. Sets off for Plunder. Cheng. Cheng to Petrov. Petrov to Denyer. Denyer back to Petrov. Ortega looking for it to Lidikit. Quick to Denyer. Denyer to Cheng. Cheng takes a shot. Not much on it. Pillage with another chance with the wind at their back. Tullett over top to Keenan. Keenan to Tullett. Tullett to Connell. Near his own end zone. Tullett just about on his own end zone. Far corner now. Winds up, delivers. Stacy catches. Back thumbs, back edge. Now Thomas, scoop over top. Has Ant Dowell. Dowell rips one. Tullett's there. Big bid. Still in front. No catch, no goal. 9-6, Plunder disc.
about there, Gus. It's about there where you were.
Denier jogs it in. Denier, Black. Black, Denier. Close sideline, Denier grips, rips. Cheng's there, over more. Cheng's put it to the far sideline. He has Taylor there, not in. Inbounds, not in goal though. Now to Denier. Shot goes up and Ray Ortega. The Canadian import with the Spanish name. Had a goal until the pick was assessed. Denier again. Breaks with the backhand. Rips it into Petrov for the goal. 10-6. Plunder bringing the Thunder and trouble for their opposite club. The heads of state boys persistent in their hope to get Cron on the line. Cron a slight bit bashful, but hoping indeed to get the chance. But as we mentioned, these shortened lines, it's tough to get on. It's top 7 or top 6 plus 1 sometimes. Very strong line out there. Seems that Plunder would want this national championship more, possibly just the stronger team, but certainly inching there quicker. Lots of these, both these colony teams have plenty of players that have championships on each squad, but there are plenty that have not and nor have featured in a championship game. A lot of young kids through these colony ranks. We hear these shortened lines, familiar names, but this club continues to develop and build players from young up-and-comers with some talent to play competitive ultimate into bona fide superstars playing through this club. Ladamato's case and point there, as with Connell to set now with the disc. Connell, near sideline, midfield, Ladamatos. Lotto has Thomas Vo. T-Vo back at the end zone. Can't connect. Cheng gets in the way. Mark Evans barking interesting instructions from the far sideline. Punt and pin the tactical deployment. Denier obeys the command and jacks it. Good contest. Cheng in front with Andrews on his heel. Great grab by Cheng. The finish won't work though. Too far for Lidicate. A bit of preservation of greatness. An excellent box out and catch by Cheng. A quick, premature throw. Too far in front for Lidicate. And Ladamatos sets underway for Pillage. Andrews now. Connell. Connell gives it. He's got Doucette. Doucette gets down. luckily had a touch of the disc or perhaps never in. Now Denyer to Jimmy Todd Hill. Jimmy Todd Hill returns to Denyer, playing out of their end zone, wind at their back. Now Litigate. Litigate gets out to Jimmy Todd Hill. Here's Xavier Black. Black looks to give it. Doesn't. Returns to Denyer. Denyer. Stall count mounting. Gets it out to Cheng. Lots of space for him. Rob Andrews gets to the mark late. Cheng rips it. Too much out of Cheng from the throw again. There it is, sailing deep. Oh, there's the great catch by Cheng earlier in the sequence. And there is the throw with a wide open Litigate coming down the field. He put it too far in front. Latamatos towards the disc. Latamatos. Black on the mark. Doucette. Wickrama winds up. Latamatos. Wickrama.
Don't bite, don't bite, don't bite, don't bite, don't bite. Stay there, stay there, stay there.
Esh Wickrama.
Jimmy.
Floaty flick. Jimmy Todd Hill comes under. Gets there first. Easier read on the block than the catch there. Litigate. Connell on the mark. Denyer engages for him. He rips it down the line over Esh into the hands of Taylor. Tubby Taylor, 12-6. Litigate, here's the score. Backhand down the line. Over the defenders. Taylor in the goal. And Colony, Plunder, on a bit of a run here. 11-6, correction. Heads of state. Persistent. Timeout, late timeout, Plunder. We'll take a break. Plunder up by 5. 11-6. 77.5 minutes into this game. The most spectators they've had at this interclub rivalry. Their training scrimmages moved to Ballarat, but this one counts for a trophy and, more importantly, bragging rights amongst their peers. Tullett to Henry. We'll see if they, if Colony brings back the boot skull at the end. I remember in Newcastle, a Colony title. Ogden goes big over Stacy into Ortega. But in the Newcastle AUC, upon victory, the victorious Colony Club all filled their playing boots with a tasty, bubbly libation and sculled from the same shoe that they played in all games. So was very entertaining for the onlookers. We'll hope for a bit more of that, whichever one of these teams wins. That's a win for everyone. That's a win for Ultimate. Mike kneeled. Disc is in. Kneeled to Ortega. Ortega to Kneeled. Kneeled has jacked it. He's got Jimmy Todd Hill. Stacy closing down, but Jimmy Todd Hill hangs on. Floats. Litikit. Not Litikit, sorry. That was Coffee. Gets the disc in the pack. Kneeled to Ortega. On the goal line. That's a goal. Petrov 12-6. Plunder doubling up their Pillage counterparts. Here's the kneeled throw. Jimmy Todd Hill gets there with Stacy on his shoulder. There's the throw over the intended receiver. Coffee with the bailout and the pack. And here's our throw to score. Ortega sees Petrov. Gets it through traffic. And Plunder getting excited. Daniel to pull. Once the indication for readiness avails. There it is. Rob Andrews and Henry both give it. Daniel, on the other hand, gives a big arcing outside in backhand, lands in, rolls out. Lotto will collect, take it to the front of the goal line. The goal line. The front of the end zone.
Save, my boys. Save, touch on. Save, touch on. Good save. All over this, Daniel.
Lotta Matos puts it to Denyer. And Denyer goes the other way.
Oh, yeah!
It has Todd Hill, 13-6. It's getting ugly.
Timeout call.
So 13-6, we're joined with Tom Regacki just came off his semifinal. His Melbourne adversaries got him, but Chile with a very respectable 4th place finish. Congratulations on that, Tommy. How was your game quickly, and then a bit about this game, what you've seen?
Yeah, look, disappointing, Pats. Bronze medal game, no bling for some of our younger players, but yeah, great. Probably exceeded our own expectations and external expectations, so we'll come back better next year. For more interest, I know it's hard when you're watching 13-6. Can they come back? 2 clubs that know each other well. With my sort of look at this, is you've got the more offensively orientated Plunder versus a more defensively orientated Pillage, and I think in these windy conditions, just the deeper line has held them in good stead, I guess. The other thing I'd say is it was interesting watching. I was interested to see if Mark Evans and Will being out, you know, and 2 of their great throwers, would that affect them? And in a way, it really hasn't. That's what's been impressive. Matty Dow, kudos to him, because in these conditions, really powerful throws, just steps up into that void really well. We also played him on day 1 and lost in a battle, but they didn't have Tex Pete Blakely there, so he adds a lot as well. He's got speed, smart decisions, good defender, so yeah, they just got depth.
Pick your poison, really, is a case with Plunder. You're right with the Evans-Norton. Looking at it now, you might have thought at the start of the game that would have been something that would have leveled if we did perceive Plunder as the stronger before the game, but it seems irregardless now, the Plunder seem poised to win it. We would love, of course, to see Pillage come the whole way and circle the wagons, make this happen. Yeah,
well, at this point, you know, there's an up and down wind, and they got a few of these upwinders banked. They got a few upwinders banked now. Really, they just got to come out their O line, get an actual downwind offensive point, and then see if they can actually dig themselves out of this hole. They need the next upwinder, that's for sure. But first point of, you know, it's always hard. You got to start with offense, going downwind, and at the moment, you know, they'll be sitting there just wanting to turn the scoreboard over and just try to make a run on D. And it is hard to close that game sometimes.
Absolutely. We've got to give them the wobbles. Extend the game is going to be the Pillage mindset here. 1 goal at a time. Not many to spare. Tommy, you'll take us into this. Run us through the play-by-play once Denyer puts it into action.
Yep.
And let's see how this game finishes off with Plunder looking poised.
Absolutely. Well, if I look at Plunder's D-line here, they've put some of their rookies on, so I reckon they're safe. They're just saying, let's put the aces out and just score 2 offensive points. That's all we need here. So they're just going to get some of their younger guys a bit of game time. And here they are coming out with a bit of sort of a junky, loose man. No, it's man, but just horizontal offense there from Pillage. A little bit of a give-go. Huck goes up, Cupcake, who's gone deep, he should score this. He's caught that well, stretched out. Pretty well executed, as I said. It was probably the defense, secondary sort of defensive line, but they will come out with a very strong starting 7 here. And if they nail this downwind, though, it is shut the gate probably, but equally, you will see a strong defense come out. Here comes the play, Pats. Just a little quick give-go into a power position.
That's Latamatos winding up here.
Is that a good game? I quite like his game.
Oh, Latamatos' game has come a long, long way. He's made the Dingoes for the first time this year. 2 campaigns in a row with the Goannas. The last one he was captain. He's come a very long way.
And that hat he's wearing is next best dressed behind Timicles. So I love the hat he's wearing. It's beautiful. It's the fashion these days. I know, Pat. You're similarly inclined.
I'm sporting a
I'm a bit more
similar fashion.
Short back and sides myself, Pats, but that's okay.
Yeah, keep it clean for the financial industry there, Tommy.
That's it. Just watching around you know, it looks like one team's already they're celebrating on the sidelines. It's a dangerous thing, and the black, you know, the Pillage boys look a bit dejected. They need this point, as we said. They're going to rally hard. They got some strong generals out there, so. Gavin Moore, you know, co-captain or vice-captain of Dingoes, so he's been there, done that. Anthony Dow playing Barramundi's there. He's been a big presence here. It's been interesting seeing him battle his brother.
Tullett, of course, hasn't subbed a point this game and is very used to these situations.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely. They'll you know, he's grinding it out, and he'll you know, his big pulls. You need him into the wind, that's for sure, because he's the guy that's going to actually break it into the wind.
This is the one that matters, Tommy. Give us another one here.
Here we go. Well, the pull's got to land in to start with, and that's just fighting the wind. You can see how strong it is. You might not feel it on the screen, but I can tell you that's a stiff breeze. It's consistent. But Mike Neal gets the easy under. They'd be wary of him out. Tex, they're all just getting 2 easy unders at the moment. And swing to Tex. Pete. Looks off the swing. Back down the line to Mike. It's been the Mike and Jimmy. These are all world's levels. Jimmy just wants his Harley's backhand or lefty backhand. They're getting it down the cram hole at the moment.
Absolutely.
It's all on the open side, and they're a bit stuck on the line. I'd love to see him. There's a call. It's a pick. They've worked it down all the way very well, the unders. So Pillage look a little bit concerned of the outs, so they're not covering the ins as much. But now they're on that goal line. Someone's either got a streak there with their speed. Matt Dow's a dump. He's in a bad position now, but Pete gets a little flick out. They're off the line. He dumps it back to Mike. Mike gets the flick, but that's a block from Cupcake.
What a block from Cupcake.
That was baited. That was baited.
Absolutely baited.
And now he's going to look for a big huck. He's got a long huck, and his hand blocked.
Retribution, but it's still floating. And
wow.
Connell comes down with it.
Well, I think foul. This will go back regardless, I think. This will just go back.
So that was Nathan Linforth jumping in front.
That was a good. He went.
Foul called?
So we're just working out a call here. Fucking Mike.
What's the call? Uncontested foul. Uncontested offensive foul. So it's a turnover. So it's
Sounds like an uncontested foul from what I can see there. Mike Neal was pushed out of the play. We're watching it. There's the hand block. Watching it
Mike's
back
calling
live.
a foul against you. Is that right?
Mike's called a foul for in the back.
Oh,
That would have been a great
If it's in the process
AFL
of trying
mark.
to catch the disc, and that's an
Absolutely,
uncontested
that's
Mikey's
a
played a bit of
spectacular
footy
foul,
too.
that's a
Yeah.
turnover.
I think Rory hasn't contested
There's
that.
You need
what
to
we
take
said was
possession of
a
it.
beautifully baited D by
I think
Cupcake.
with Cupcake, it went backhand there, and I guess you have to, and they read that. The backhand off the forehand force.
And
then
like
got
you
the
say,
hand.
these players know each other. Maybe Nathan just saw him get baited and set him up for another one the other way.
Yep, so they've worked it out well. These teams know each other, obviously, from the same club. And Mike Neal gets the disc for a push into the back. You saw it, very beautiful footage there, care of our stream here today. Mike gets the flick off. He'll be up and about after a hand block on Cupcake. The brothers go at it, and
Pick
a
call.
call.
We've had some
It's
great
called.
dowel-on-dowel action in this
Yeah.
game. Were you here for the hand block on the goal line, the hammer?
I was. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
And one long. They give his other little clap every time. But we're back to play live. Flick caught well there.
Pick called.
Another pick, I think. There's a little bit of stacks aren't quite formulated well,
Yeah.
but it's going to stay. Steph Callan is a
Spielman,
lefty.
yep.
He's got the up the line lefty backhand, and he uses it to great effect.
He's got Jimmy Todd Hill.
Jimmy's been good in this game, Pats. I've really liked his effort. He got a great block there where, I don't know if you remember, it was about close in the first half. He actually blocked it and pushed it this 20 metres towards the goal. And there's Callan, disc in, just raw speed. We're going to go back to the block again.
Tullett getting the showtime here.
Absolutely.
And heads of state excited because Cron Hudson getting his first point of the game. They've been barking for him all day. Great to see Cron out there. This is a match point situation as we see Ruben Berg giving us his David Bowie style upward diagonal hand signals. And if it does end, it's great to see Cron Hudson out there
It
playing
does.
this
And
point.
look, I just hope it is a great sign. Obviously, he's a Victorian boy coming off an ACL, so good to see him get a point. You see this sometimes, but also hope he takes this because it is still a Nationals final, and you know there's no 3 points in Ultimate, so I hope they still play this effect.
That's right.
Score
Fat
it
lady's
and-
warming up, but she hasn't sung yet, Tommy.
Absolutely. No, well, you want Plunder to win it. You want him to win it, and they'll probably win on a downwinder. You don't want to get an upwinder to finish as well, and that's perfectly fine. So we're going to just watch this roll out. We do have, again, if you look at the Plunder line, defensively, it isn't their stroke line. You know, they're saving their chips again. They've got a few downwinders. I mean, hard to see them coming back here, but it's interesting throughout the tournament. I don't know who's been winning the scrimmages locally. I mean,
Well, what I understand is Plunder has had the wood over the scrimmages, but the team that has tended to have the wood in scrimmages has more often than not lost
Yep.
at Nationals, so it looks like Plunder's going to break that.
it's that,
Latamatos picks it up. Tommy, take us through.
yeah, well, he's been the solid handler all weekend, and he's swinging to Tivo. Tivo up the line to Henry. There's a couple of Mundy's teammates. Good hands there, Henry. Very long. Swings it to another dingo, and just nothing generating. You're getting good undercuts. Cupcake now for this. Flick out to Tivo. Speed to burn. That's a goal. Very
That's
easily
going
done.
to count. So that's the easy one to extend the game. And now what? Just a 7-point run, Tommy? No big deal, hey?
No big deal at all. No, look, I'll be interested to see how they come out. I reckon they're not going to want to muck around with it on the goal line. I'd like to see, they're probably going to go the jack deep, I imagine. I would like to see, maybe just see Tivo towing the line well there as well, which was clever. Smart
Well done,
ultimately, they
yep.
want to have to do another throw. I would be tempted in the out throw. It's actually sometimes easier to huck it into the wind. You get the float. Downwind, it's actually, you've seen a few of them, it's hard to actually get it out in front and land.
Yeah,
So
right. It's too many legs behind it.
yeah, so they'll be tempted to just finish it for long. They also don't want to turn over on the goal line and make it an easy go all the other way. So, you know, you see it in union and other sports, sometimes huck for position in these conditions. It was like that the last couple of days.
Absolutely, but when we look down there, like huck, play under, it kind of doesn't matter. Nathan Linforth out there with Dingo Spielman, Dingo Blakely, Dingo Neal, Dingo Dowell, Kai Young, a long veteran, played at most levels, and Jimmy Todd Hill, a Mundy who's been a dingo in the past. So no matter what they really have planned with the wind at their back, this is a team you expect to punch it in. And after this game, the expectation only grows. Yeah, let's see it work in London.
Here we go. Yeah, and again, you've got the pull coming up again. It's lucky to make it a brick mark. The crowd's up and about. They're still into it, considering there's nothing really on the line. We know that Colony's going to win it. It's just which team. Who's your favourite player individually? We need a fantasy for this one, really.
Cool.
For me, I think the man with the disc in hand, he does not have a national title behind his name, as far as I understand. A mixed nationals, but for Mike Neal, the open game is the game he plays.
Well, he won that mixed with you. You'd know that well, Pat.
Yes,
so
yes, he has you as well,
year,
Tommy.
But the pick called there. And
but yeah, Mikey, the
year.
years in Brisbane, did some time in Fishwick and Canberra,
including a final with them. Him and John Holmes combined well, yeah.
And it looks like he's gonna get his first hands on that glory, but not done yet.
Well, look, any story, there's always, we could talk about that a little bit, Pat. There's always a story behind these sorts of things. Someone's first, who was unlucky, who was lucky, and, he's a captain of the Dingoes and a ripping guy and a ripping player, so he deserves to have that honour around his neck for sure.
Absolutely.
There's got it out
Kai
the
Young.
They're going to do it the traditional way here.
Where's
for
the championship point coming
Takes
from?
up the line, streaking, creates an opening for Mike. He looks around for a flick.
Is it Matt
Steps
Dowell?
around Matt. He does a Spider-Man tap.
It
He's
is
looking.
So anticlimactic there with the uncertainty of whether he was in.
They have a game observer there. Steve had no complaints there. And I think that's the fat lady has well and truly sung. It'll hurt for the Plunder boys because they would have wanted it. But
Pillage, rather.
Sorry, Pillage. But Plunder was just in windy, tough conditions, just had the better skill set in the end. So
that's right. Better team on the day, most definitely. Without Evans, without Captain Will Norton, they really get it done. A very polished-looking final. And like you said, with your howling bark, I don't think I can replicate as well as you did, Tommy, but things looking good for the open Australian boys out in London.
It is. You'd like to see them playing. Probably too many turnovers. I mean, this is the national championship. People watching at home going, wow, there's a lot of turnovers there, but you probably can't feel the conditions out there. So this wasn't a day for, clean offense. This was a day of just mongrel taking your chances. I like Denya. Denya chanced his arm, threw a few away, but also created a little bit. Matt Dowell just to rock some of his powerful throws into the wind. It's hard to replicate that. We saw Cupcakes got that, but he's more off the backhand than the forehand, while Matty can do it off both wings. A rare talent and not something easily replicable. So, yeah, look, at the end of the day, they just played the conditions a little bit better. I thought they played a lot of man-on-man, and I thought if they played any other team, there would have been a lot more zone. And that's the only thing I'd take away from Pillage. I'm surprised, they play us, they play a lot of teams. They play a lot of zone because they don't back the depth. I don't know if they thought they have too much depth. We just got to back our athleticism.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're opening up to that one-on-one matchup, that speed of text, those throws of Matt. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, well, thank you, Tommy, for joining us. Colony, Plunder gets the wood on Pillage. Next year, let's make sure we get at least one other team in there so we don't have the training ground. But congrats to Plunder and Colony as a club. Thanks, Tom Regacki, for joining me, Stefan Rapazzo, and Ulti TV. Brought to you through Sky Magazine. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back for the women's final not long from now.